Hold on tight, here we go. Common Core Standard, Equations and Expressions for 8th grade. 8th Standard, analyze and solve pairs of simultaneous linear equations. Simultaneous just means they happen at the same time. Linear means they make a line. Here we go. Junior Snerd and Johnny Wh are starting a book club. Junior Snerd and Johnny Wh, in case you missed that. Starting a book club. They're both reading Divergent by Veronica Roth. Even though they started reading on different days, they decided to have their first meeting when they are on the same page. Junior is on page 120 and reads at a constant rate of 40 pages every day. Johnny is on page 160 and reads 30 pages every day, also at a constant rate. Using algebra, answer these questions. After how many days will they be on the same page? On that day, what page will they be on? And how many days will it take each boy to finish the book? That is, to get to page 487. I didn't write that in the problem, sorry. 487 pages. The original first edition of this book had 487 pages. Okay, how many days will it take them to finish? Using a graph, basically do the same thing. Graph a line to show each boy's page count and progress, identify the intersection of those two lines, and explain what the intersection means in the situation. What day will they finish, but show it on the graph. Take a screenshot of the problem if you want to save that, but here we go to do some work. First, we're going to use algebra. Okay? Algebraic strategy. Turn that around. First, we have Junior. He is on page 120 and he reads at 40 pages every day. Okay, this is his rate and this was his starting point. Okay, starting point, also known as initial value, also known as the y-intercept. If you're starting to picture what the graph will look like already, that's a good place to start. Okay, this is known as the slope as well. Then we have Johnny. He's reading 30 pages per day, but he's on page 160 when they're talking and deciding to make this book club. That's the page he's on. Okay? Since both of these are equal to y, here's how we set them up and solve them as simultaneous equations, or equations being solved at the same time. Okay? By doing this, when we come up with the solution will be how many days it'll take them to get on the same page. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm in kind of a rush here. The bell's going to ring in 10 minutes. Hopefully I can finish this video in less than that. Remember our balance method. We can do whatever we want as long as we do it to both sides. Divide by 10. X equals 4. Okay, what does 4 mean for this situation? Well, 4 means days to be on the same page. So after 4 days, they'll be on the same page. That's when they're going to have their book club. What page will that be? We substitute. Since we already know it'll take 4 days, no matter who it is, we can pick either one of these equations. Okay? So let's take Junior. The page number is 40 times 4 days plus the page he was already on. Okay, the page he's on will be 280. Sorry, I went off the screen there. Let's go to Johnny. Just to prove to you that it doesn't matter which equation you use, Johnny reads 30 pages each day. We got the 4 from up here, remember. Oh, he was on page 160, by the way. 120 plus 160, and as you can see, that will also equal 280. Okay. The significance of this is that the intersection of their book club is day 4, page 280. Those are the X and the Y values. Okay? And finally, how many days will it take each boy to finish the book? Hopefully you get this, okay, the intersection. Days to finish. Well, there are 487 pages in the book, so that means Y is going to equal 487. So I can take Junior and say 487 equals, what did he read? 40x plus 120. And we're just going to solve this for x. Looks like we'll need a calculator, because we'll have some kind of a decimal. Looks like 9 days and a little more. Okay, calculator. 367 divided by 40. Okay, what this means in terms of our situation is on the 10th day he will finish, right? 9 days and a little bit more. That's Junior. For Johnny, we take the same total page count, but we use his equation and solve it for x. 327, divide that by 30. We can see that's going to take him almost 11 days. 327 divided by 30. 10.9 days. So he'll finish near the end of 11 days. Okay, that takes care of the algebra part. Let's do the graphing part. Wow, I'm not the world's greatest video editor, as you can tell, but I had a mistake on take 1 of the video, and I didn't want to redo the whole thing, so I'm fixing it here and splicing it in, and I know you could tell because I just talked about it. Anyway, here we are, graphical representation of this book club situation. We start with a graph. Every complete graph should have a title, and it should have the x-axis and the y-axis both labeled. Y-axis in this case will be the pages read, and the x-axis is the number of days they've been reading. There's Junior's equation. He reads 40 pages a day. He started on page 120. Let's go ahead and graph that using our slope-intercept strategy, which is simply 120 is the page he was on when they started the book club. I've scaled my y-axis using 25s over here. So if I want to go to 120, it's going to be right about there. Okay? And if you recall from the previous page, the lines intersect at 4 and 280. We figured that out algebraically in the first part of this video. So I'm going to go ahead and put a dot at 4 days and 280 pages. Okay? So 4 days, 280 pages. This would be 275 right here, so a little bit over that. Okay? And I'm going to use those 2 points to make the line for junior. Technically, I know it's not a line, it's a ray, because we're starting at the 0 point. Okay? That's junior. Now I'm going to use red for Johnny. What's his name? Johnny. He starts on page 160. So here's page 150. It's going to be just a little more than that, 160. We know they're going to intersect right there at 4 days, 280 pages. So let me see if I can get kind of precise about this line. There we go. Okay, there's the 2 lines. The red one is Johnny. Okay, and there's our intersection right there. Okay, so what we can see is that, oh, the final question. When are they going to finish? Okay, well, we know that 487 pages is the total in the book. So if I just estimate about halfway in between here, about halfway between 475 and 500, there's the 487 line. So junior is going to finish right about day 9, right? And if you think back to our algebraic solution to the problem, we came up with this answer. So our graph is really quite close to that for junior. Let's look at Johnny. I'll do red line with Johnny. We'll see how close that matches our algebraic solution. Kind of right about there. And if we look back to our algebraic solution, we said 10.9. So you can see how this is imprecise because we're using a ruler and imprecise measuring instruments. But you can see how graphically this really does match what we did on the other page with the algebra. Okay, we can see where they intersect. We can see that junior is going to finish first. And even though our numbers don't exactly match our calculations from the other page, we can definitely see junior is going to finish first. Okay, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching, and send me any questions if you have any. I'm thinking I'll make another video similar to this to reinforce this skill. All right, bye for now.